Yeah. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Society Hall. So pleased you could make it out to be with us tonight. My name is Don Richmond. I'm one of the board members, and also get to make a little music here now and then. And in for a sweet night tonight, a real treat. And I think you're going to really enjoy Randy and his beautiful songs. They have just a groundedness to them. He sings songs of the high plains out there on the Llano Estacado and West Texas, and just songs of life and love and everything in between. So it's going to be a beautiful night. Want to there's another event that will be coming up in early December that I just wanted to make an announcement for. We haven't really started publicizing it yet, but my friend David Clemmer and I, we collaborate on musical things now and then, and we're putting out a Christmas CD this year, and we're going to do a CD release event on December 4th, which is a Sunday, and I'm not even sure what time yet, late afternoon sometime, but we'll be putting the word out about that. But might make a little note of that in the back of your brain somewhere. And but meanwhile, and there'll be other things coming up in December. We've had a couple things canceled, so we're gonna round up a few other concerts in December, and then we've got some great stuff happening next year. Anyway, you can check it out at the Society Hall website, as usual. But tonight, in for a lovely night of music, and so glad you're with us. I want to introduce to you Mr. Randy Palmer.
This is so fun. This is so fun already for me. To be here at Society Hall, you don't know, in the folk community, this is one of the plum places to play. So my first time here, I appreciate it so much. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. When we made this booking, I started thinking about all the things I know about Alamosa. One, I know it's cold. It's beautiful. Here in this valley, it's a beautiful place. We have my family has a cabin in Eagle Nest, New Mexico, south of here. And so this part of the country is near and dear to my heart. Something else I knew about Alamosa was Adams State, which is really an impressive university. And then the third thing I knew was it's a train town. And so I thought what I would do is start off with my one and only train song. So a little song called Somewhere Down the Line. In my dreams, I'm an engineer just rolling down this track. And I'm headed west across the Rio Grande, and I'm never looking back. It's up into the Rockies, across the Great Divide, to the Badlands and the canyons where the outlaws go to hide. And that'd be somewhere down the line, across the Great Divide, where the dreams I dream, they come alive. Somewhere down the line, where the stars are shining bright, I'll be a hero or a villain, somewhere down the line. In my dreams, I'm honest Abe with the pen in my hand, and I'll craft those words that speak the truth about freedom in this land. And then I'll turn to Jesse James with blood as cold as ice, a bandana stretched across my face and my gun at my side. And that'd be somewhere down the line, across the Great Divide, where the dreams I dream, they come alive. Somewhere down the line, where the stars are shining bright, I'll be a hero or a villain, somewhere down the line. You know, across the Jordan into the promised land, or I could ride with Don Quixote, hold $1 million in my hands. It's all a great adventure, so saddle up and ride somewhere down the line. Well, it's hard to be a pioneer in a settled land. So I've been thinking of homestead in heaven, and I'm making up a plan. I'm gonna sneak around these pearly gates. I know everything is true. Like D.B. Cooper took the bunny and the parachute, and he's gone somewhere down the line, across the great divide, where the dreams I dream, they come alive. Somewhere down the line, where the stars are shining bright, I'll be a hero or a villain. Somewhere down the line, I'll be a hero or a villain. Somewhere down the line. Thank you. It always feels good to get that first song under your belt. You know, the pick's slipping in your fingers. You're a little nervous. You don't know these people. They don't know you. And we're all here just to kind of make a... I'm looking for the right capos when I'm doing, if you're wondering. I'm not playing with myself. I'm not. Yes. Get this one. I made a mistake. I bought new capos here the other day, and they're not worn out enough yet to work correctly. That's much better. One of the things that I'm fascinated with in life is the Dust Bowl. I don't know about you guys, but I know it affected this area. It affected where I live in Amarillo, Texas, severely. And there's a little town in the panhandle of Texas called Dalhart, and that was kind of the epicenter for the Dust Bowl. A few years ago, if you saw the documentary, The Dust Bowl, on PBS, it was written from a book called The Worst Hard Times. After I read that book, this is the song I wrote. Well, he looks across the kingdom of the acres that he owns, of the Llano Estacado. It's a place he makes his home. You know this homestead, it's not easy. Claim the land and plant your mark for 320 acres, just enough to make a start. And then it's blow, dirt blow, these acres into dreams. You can't make her whole unless you give her back her heart and you leave behind the greed. Yes, the cowboys and the Indians, they both disagreed, and they said this land was made for grass, not cotton and not wheat, 'cause it is home to the buffalo, then the sacred cow. If you turn this sod over, you're gonna drive her spirit out. And then it's blow, dirt blow, these acres into dreams. You can't make her whole unless you give her back her heart and you leave behind the greed. And then the dust stood as deep as the snow, covered all the fence posts and the windows and the doors, and the old folks and the baby, we just prayed they might survive as they choked on dirt all through the night. And they didn't blow, dirt blow these acres into dreams. You can't make her whole unless you give her back her heart and you leave behind the greed. Unless you give her back her heart and you leave behind the greed. Thank you. I bet if you're like me, you're probably wishing that Don was up here because we could have some of his magic going on here. And if Don, if you would grace me with your presence, this is like a dream that I've had for a long time, is to play with Don Richmond. What a great producer.
Oh, twist my arm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's enough.
This is a song, I call it part of the Ann set, which Ann is my wife, and we've been married for 42 years, and she's a blessing, and we went to a music conference, and I signed her up as my manager. And people kept walking around going, "Oh, so you're a manager? Would you manage me?" You know, and she kept saying, "No, I got one guy, and he's all I can handle." So, little song called "It's So Beautiful." She forgave the lies I told her and all the ways I broke her heart. She let me walk outside, walk back in and begin a new start. She lets me love her, clean and pure, and she puts her hand in mine as I'm reaching out for hers. That's so beautiful, it's so fine, it's so flesh and blood, and so divine, not to be alone in this universe. She belongs to me, and I belong to her. Every single morning, you know I'm more amazed, 'cause she can see down deep inside me, the best me I'll ever be. But she lives with the progress of this old piece of work, and she loves me just like I am, for better or for worse. That's so beautiful, it's so fine, it's so flesh and blood, so divine, not to be alone in this universe. She belongs to me, and I belong in her. You know, but I'm on the trail of this girl that stole my heart. Winning her every day is what sweetness is about. And she protects me from the cold, safest warm I've ever felt. So thank our lucky stars, let's keep our secrets to ourselves. And that's so beautiful, it's so fine, it's so flesh and blood, and so divine, not to be alone in this universe. She belongs to me, and I belong to her. And that's so beautiful, it's so fine, that's so flesh and blood, and so divine, not to be alone in this universe. She belongs to me, and I belong to her. Yeah, she belongs to me, and I belong to her.
Oh, that's so sweet. I know just what you mean.
I think you've done this before. I'm sorry, I use 3 capos, so I'm constantly searching for the right capo. And I usually, when I travel, I usually have a little tray here in front of me, and I left it at home. So, one more chance.
You could get one of those stools instead of put it up here if you want.
Yeah, we could do that. We could have a... We've just been to a Western Music Association meeting. Don't really consider myself a Western, but they invited me to come, so I went, and I had a blast. It's in Albuquerque this weekend every year, and if you ever have the chance and you want to listen to some great cowboy music, Western, folk, it's just almost everything. It's the Albuquerque Hotel this week of November, and it's a real treat. This is a song off an album we released last summer, and the story for the song goes like this. I used to work with kids, high school kids, and I was a part of a church staff, and we worked with kids, and we always dealt with problems with families, and I got the bad habit of deciding what was proper for a certain family, and I lived to regret it. They were wonderful people. They had a hard time. It was a hard, messy divorce for this family, and I was afraid for the kids, and it turned out beautiful. They all found a better place to be, and those kids became wonderful folks. This is a song called Carry On. won't believe what I just did. I played a different song. I believe it. He's a walking, wounded, he's talking, he sounds so soothing, and he's believing in surviving, he hopes to carry on. But she's packing, she's leaving, she's tacking to where the breeze is, and she's headed for open waters, she wants to carry on. So easy to place the blame, looking from outside. Broken hearts and wounded souls either run or they hide. They just want to carry on. Now that mother is crying for the children she's been denying, sons and a daughter, please help them carry on. But that father, in his anger, protector, becomes a danger to the sister and the brothers, please help them carry on. So easy to place the blame, looking from outside. Broken hearts and wounded souls either run or they hide. They just want to carry on. Time heals broken hearts, many wounds leave many scars. And the walls we build, they're jails with bars. Forgive us, let us carry on. Yes, forgive us, let us carry on. Because it's so easy to place the blame, looking from outside. Broken hearts and wounded souls either run or they hide. They just want to carry on, and they try to carry on. Please forgive us, let us carry on. Carry on.
Beautiful, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm marveling at your ability to flex with him. 'Cause he's never played these songs. This is. Do you remember Katrina? Yeah, that was quite a storm, and we've had bigger storms since then. But at the time, I think it was like the granddaddy of all hurricanes. And shortly thereafter, Ann and I went with a group of people to work on homes in New Orleans, and we were in the area called Chantilly, which is right next to the 9th Ward. And up and down this block, every house had the big X on it, and it would say whether somebody had passed in that house or whether they had found survivors, and all of the information was there in a big X. We got assigned to work with a lady. Her name was Miss Betty, and Miss Betty was this a large, really dark-skinned black lady, and her face. Every time I went up to her and I looked at her face, it was my grandmother's face. She was this foster mom that was trying to get back in business, and every time I looked at her, I saw my grandma, and she wore the same perfume, and she hugged me, and it was like going just a special place that I can't say what it was like, and but she had a way with words, and this is a song written about things I heard her say. It's a hot, muggy day, drinking Red Cross Kool-Aid, and I wished I'd sleep, and this would be a dream. Don't believe that TV screen or that newsstand magazine until you've stood beneath the waterline. So won't you come stand next to me, and from here what do you see? Is there a future? Are we captives of the past? And with our backs to the wall, at the ceiling the lines crawl, and it's something we all share, in and out, everywhere, 'cause we live beneath the waterline. We live beneath the waterline. I've seen cars up in trees, I've seen houses washed down the street, lives lost and souls washed away. And if you're rich or you're poor, it don't matter anymore, 'cause we're all the same beneath the waterline. So won't you come stand next to me, and from here what do you see? Is there a future? Are we captives of the past? And with our backs to the wall, at the ceilings the lines crawl, and it's something we all share, in and out, everywhere, 'cause we live beneath the waterline. We live beneath the waterline. And this is not a battle between us and a storm. It's a fight for home and family, ought to give and give love. If our house don't make it, honey, I still have a home, and it's here with the brothers and sisters. All the saints keep marching on, so won't you come stand next to me, and from here what do you see? Is there a future? Are we captives of the past? And with our backs to the wall, at the ceiling the lines crawl, it's something we all share. In and out, everywhere, 'cause we live beneath the waterline. We live beneath the waterline. Thank you.
Beautiful, huh?
Thank you. You know, Miss Betty, to this day, she's still taking care of kids. That's what she does. And she can't be, she's got to be somewhere just shy of 80. And she's taking care of those kids. Well, you can't have a music thing without doing a breakup song. So this is about a complicated relationship that I don't know where it came from. I just wrote it one day, so nothing's wrong. So rest.
Past lives, you know, I can blame it on past lives.
It's called Echoes in the Past. Echoes from the Past. I emptied out my pockets. I was needing a little change, so I broke the piggy bank, swept off the wash machine. Then I reached under the cushion of that chair you left behind. I found your wedding ring, and I almost lost my mind. So now I'm separating pennies from nickels and dimes. I'm counting old memories. I'm traveling back in time instead of stacking these quarters. I'm reaching for your arms, and I'm wishing you were here, that I'd never done you harm. And that's an echo from the past. Questions never asked. You know, history has trapped you and me in these echoes from the past. You know, you never said goodbye, and I never told the truth. So we both kept our silence as the distance grew. And now I pray your heart is whole, and that your wounds will mend. If you think of me at all, just do it now and then, just now and then. In these echoes from the past, questions never asked. You know, history has trapped you and me in these echoes from the past. Take this money and this ring and give it to the lady on the corner of the street. Then pray for forgiveness, but settle for relief. In these echoes from the past, questions never asked. You know, history has trapped you and me in these echoes from the past. Echoes from the past. Echoes from the past.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
You know, I'm having a lot of fun, and this is what it's all about in a lot of ways. It's to be together, and I hope that I'm bringing something to you guys that makes it better tonight.
Amen.
Yeah. I spent a summer in North Carolina when I was in my early 20s, working at a summer camp, and it was hectic all the time. There were kids everywhere, and you could never get a chance to go sit and play. So I found this place, and it was this old tobacco shed that somebody had turned into a screened-in porch, and it was great. It had an old wood stove in it, had lots of dust and critters, but you could go and you could be alone. So this is a song about the old screen porch. The old tin roof, it leaks sometimes, right over the door when you go in or outside. The firewood stacked, safe and dry next to the wood stove, this old as time. The winter won't last such a long, long time. Down here in these hardwoods and tall white pines, soon we'll be mowing grass, tending tomato vines. That's the rhythm of the southern life. And you just can't beat the summertime as the tea soaks up the last sunshine, and the front porch turns to rhyming hall. It's Hank, George, John, and Minnie Pearl will tap out a beat on weathered boards. Been painted 100 times, worn down to bare wood floor. If I die, hope that I live forevermore in the heaven of a screened-in porch. I forgot the words, sorry. We're going to come around to it again. I played that different than I've ever played it before. It felt good, but it's wrong.
Just blame it on your accompanist. That's what I would do.
I'm sorry, I lost it again. I got to the same point, I missed it. But we'll go to the chorus. And that you just can't beat the summertime as the tea soaks up the last sunshine, and the front porch turns to rhyming hall. You know it's Hank, George, John, and Minnie Pearl will tap out the beat on weathered boards. Been painted 100 times, worn down to bare wood floor. If I die, hope that I live forevermore in the heaven of a screened-in porch. If I die, hope that I live forevermore in the heaven of a screened-in porch.
Well, thanks for telling us that you screwed up, because otherwise we would have never known.
I know it. I know it. You know, and people coach you to not do that, and I still do it. I mean,
well, there's something to be said for honesty, you know. It's like,
yeah. You know, I want to be authentic, so I guess just warts and all. So, I mean,
I remember watching Paul McCartney on some television special, and they launched into I've Just Seen a Face, and he screwed up the first verse. He said, "Wait a minute, I just screwed up the first verse. We got to start over." So, if he can do it, you know,
if it's
the
good
rest of
enough
us
for
can
Paul,
do it.
it's good enough for me.
Yeah.
I have this really good friend. His name is Randy Lewis Brown. He's a songwriter from Mineola, Texas. He's got a cabin over the other side of Anita, and he loves to come up here and fish, and he spends all the summers up here. And when we play together, we're known as the Randy Boys. You know, but we went to this folk music event. Conference, and we paid a lot of money to go and stayed in a really nice hotel, and they had all sorts of workshops and things you could do, and there was just so many players there. It was so intimidating. They were so good, and we were kind of newbies to this whole thing. And so what we did was we stayed in our room and we wrote songs. And then we had to go home and confess to our wives that we'd done that. But we wrote several songs during that time that we roomed together, and this is the last song we wrote. We were at the point that we started making up rules. This is what the song's got to do, and this song has 3 rules. One, you have to use a chord you'd never used before. The second one is it has to be a sad love song, and the third rule was that we had to look up something on the internet to make sure it was true. So this is what we came up with. Oh, the starlight breaks the silence, the colors fade to gray. Stars all talk among themselves along the Milky Way. Andromeda's not speaking, she hums a mournful tune, and Venus chases the moon. From setting sun to morning light, am I the only one staring at this starry host, regretting what I've done? Mars is gently setting, Orion's in the swoon, and Venus chases the moon. Sorry, I just did it again, sorry. Well, if I had told the truth, would I be standing here, feeling like a falling star about to disappear? A footnote in the margins of black and white cartoon, watching Venus chase the moon. Sorry, but I just turned away, so what more is left to say? But I headed back right now. She might still be there, and I might see her, but it doesn't care. Start to go, got to get this line. And Venus chases the moon. Venus chases, watching Venus chase the moon.
Mighty fine, mighty fine.
What I'm going to do to get myself back in the round here is I'm going to do a new song, because it's what I've been playing. My wife and I, we have this habit. When I leave to go from the house, I always say, "Hey, I love you," and she says, "Hey," and we do that back and forth. So this is a little bitty song about hey. Well, we were walking a path in that old photograph that hangs at the end of our hall. I wish a spotlight would shine on your hand and mine. We were lovers out taking a stroll. I said, hey, hey, have I told you I love you since dawn today? As the sun climbs in the sky up above us, there's something I want to say. Our love is bigger and wider, deeper and kinder with every step that we take. Yes, the candles are plenty on this cake that you bring me to celebrate our trips round the sun. Ah, but in that sweet glow, I see her halo, my angel, my only one. I said, hey, hey, have I told you I love you since dawn today? As the sun climbs in the sky up above us, there's something I want to say. Our love is bigger, wider, deeper and kinder with every step that we take. This universe has billions of stars, but my world only has one. There's nothing more satisfied than holding you in my arms. Hey, hey, have I told you I love you since dawn today? As the sun climbs in the sky up above us, there's something I need to say. Our love is bigger, wider, deeper and kinder with every step that we take. Our love is bigger, wider, deeper and kinder with every step. Yes, with every step, with every step that we take.
Mighty fine, mighty fine.
We'll do two more and then we'll take a quick break. We'll catch our breath and we'll do it right. We'll make sure that this doesn't happen again. There's a friend of mine in Amarillo that I called him up one day because he's a photographer and he takes these beautiful photographs of those big storms out on the high plains. And we went and we met for coffee and we talked, and I discovered he's also a storm chaser. And I'm just like, man, can I go? I want to do this at some point. And he tells me this story about chasing storms. He's a great big burly guy and stuff. And he says, I was out in this field and there were like three little bitty tornadoes dancing around the other side of this field. And I was taking pictures on my iPhone, and he shows me this iPhone coverage. And this is what happened. He's like, these little tornadoes are doing their thing over there, and all of a sudden the camera goes boom, boom, boom. And all you hear is, he goes, wow. A tornado had snuck up behind him, picked him up, threw him against his pickup truck 3 times, and dropped him back to right where he was standing. And so and I just said, I want to go. My wife says no. So this is called the Storm Chaser. I'm on my second cup of coffee, 6 a.m. as daybreak draws an outline across the great high plains. Got the weather radio on, got a pencil in my hand, and I'm tracing the dry line for about 6 p.m. And I'll throw into the backseat the sum of all my gear. I got a hard hat, a ball cap, mud boots, and rain gear, and a trusty prized possession, an old Nikon D3 with the fisheye mounted on it. I'm gonna set some monsters free, and I'll drive, oh, to catch the wind, and I'll hold on tight as the clouds begin to spin. Yes, she used to ride shotgun when we raced across this land. Oh, to lasso a twister and put a photo in a hand. But one night near El Reno, it got too close to call, so she married her a cowboy, and she lives down south of Claude, and I still drive, oh, to catch the wind, and I hold on tight as the clouds begin to spin. What used to be a season has grown into July, and left this man's headed down our Menor line. And those last tanks never empty, and My weather is on my phone, and my deadly obsession, it still calls me on, and I drive, drive, drive. Oh, to catch the wind, and I hold on tight as the clouds begin to spin, and I'll drive, drive, drive. Oh, to catch the wind, and I hold on tight as the clouds begin to spin. We'll do one more and we'll take a really quick break. This one is this is the title song off the last CD. And we do have CDs, and we always want to encourage people to take those home because they make great Frisbees, even if you don't have a CD player anymore. Most people don't, but we get them for DJs. So, but we love it. I think I did the math one time. I think it takes about 100,000 spins on streaming to cover the cost of one CD. So it helps every time you pick one up. In Eagle Nest, just south of here, in 1968, my parents built a cabin. My brother and my dad and I did most of the work, and we had this wonderful old retired general contractor that would come by and keep us out of trouble and tell us if we were doing the right things or the wrong things. And he, in about every week or so, every other week, he would come by and say, "Randy, today, put that nail belt away. You know, you don't need to work because we're going fishing." And he loved to fish at Eagle Nest Lake, and it was a private lake back then, and you had to pay to go in. And he loved going there, and he loved playing with he had a certain way you baited a hook. You took 13 kernels of corn, 3 marshmallows, 2 salmon eggs, and a worm. And if you didn't do it right, he made you do it again. His name was M.B. Allen, and he was a mentor to me and a kind of a surrogate granddad. Well, it's straight up 6 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Idling at the gate, we were first in the line. I was 13 years old. He was shouting stories about the ones that got away and the ones that are bound for glory. Old Bill Gallagher had a knowing smile when he opened up that gate. He said $3 for that kid and $6 cause you shave. I see you got a new fishing buddy. I hope you teach him right. M.B. grinned. He said, "Hey Bill, we're having fish tonight." He said, "Cast your line into deeper water and leave the past behind. Welcome to the wonder of an ancient love affair between a fish and a fisherman. You got to take a chance if you hope to reel her in. Reel her in. So like a bucking horse, that old Jeep, well, it dashed around the lake to a secret cove that M.B. called his Sea of Grace. And it was on that sacred shore he imparted this wisdom about love and war, good and bad, living and fishing. He said, cast your line into deeper water and leave the past behind. Welcome to the wonder of an ancient love affair between a fish and a fisherman. You got to take a chance if you hope to reel her in. You know, it's 50 years down that road, and I'm still coming back. Got my grandson at my side, and we're dancing down that track to a secret cove, a sacred shore, and I know what I'll say about the ones that are bound for glory and the ones that get away. I'll say, cast your line into deeper water and leave the past behind. Welcome to the wonder of an ancient love affair between a fish and a fisherman. You got to take a chance if you hope to reel her in. I'll reel her in, yes, reel her in. Thank you. We'll take a real quick break and we'll be back. Thank you.
Randy Palmer, ladies and gentlemen. Be right back with you.
We all back? Well, it's great to be back. Thank you guys again for having us here tonight. It's just it's a pleasure. It's an honor. Society Hall is known far and wide, and as a great place to play. I told you I was from Amarillo. Yeah, that's kind of been it's the high plains by far, and when I got out of college, I decided what I would do is I would go to Nashville and I'd be a songwriter. And so I headed out there and spent 3 or 4 years out there. Was lucky enough to get a job for a publishing company working as a staff writer, which meant that you wrote 10 songs a month regardless, and you didn't have to be good. And they would pay you $200 a month, and you would you got a job as a painter during the time you weren't there. So it was a great time for me. It was really enjoyable in a lot of ways. But and then Ann and I decided we were going to get married, and she told me that I had to get a real job, and so I headed back to the West, and this is a song from the last trip home. Well, these headlights are looking forward to the Oklahoma border, leaving Arkansas, all these trees behind. We're gonna roll across these ranges, these wide, empty spaces, down gravel roads to peace of mind. And these wheels, they'll keep on moving to the central known as I did it already. It's a farm, it's family, it's good heart, red winter wheat, and everyone knows my name. Out on the high plains, each mile along this road takes me to where I belong. I'm going home to the high plains. And these wide lines slap the rhythm to a new verse being written to the songs I've been singing all my life. Well, there is no mystery, I did not fit Tennessee, so I'm on my way to clear blue skies. If you look across the horizon, you might see a dust cloud rising behind a 1999 beat up Ford. It's them, and everyone knows my name. Out on the high plains, each mile along this road takes me to where I belong. I'm going home to the high plains. Without those city lights, Milky Way's gonna shine so bright, and this blind man, he might receive his sight. Yes, once again, to the high plains, for each mile along this road takes me to where I belong. I'm going home to the high plains. And these headlights are looking forward to the Oklahoma border, ringing Arkansas, all these trees behind. I'm going to do a really, really old song about... I went to my cousin's wedding when I was 18 years old. And he was 18. He's a little too young to get married, I thought. But he was getting married, and we were there. And it turned into this wonderful family reunion at this wedding. And so I took a few notes, and I wrote a song written around just being there together. And you know you've been to a folk music event when you're asked to sing along. So your part will come up and I'll show it to you. The family is gathered round the first time in such a long, long while. It's nice to look across the room and see someone who looks a lot like you. And the simple thrills what I adore as Grandma chases Granddad out the door for telling some forgotten tale on Grandma, and she swears it's just not true. The big question is, who do you believe? And it's nice to be a part of this family today, where the simple things are done so sincere. You can lose yourself in the loving that'll swell up around you. And oh, I hold this family here so dear. We'll all crowd into the bathroom to watch the great-grandbaby take a bath. And silly faces we will make, and if you're lucky, maybe you'll get splashed. Then we'll all stand round the table before we eat. Granddad bows his head and he mumbles some jumbled words. It doesn't matter, 'cause we all know what he said. He said the same thing every time. And it's nice to be a part of this family today, where the simple things are done so sincere. And you can lose yourself in the loving that'll swell up around you. Oh, I hold this family here so dear. That's your part. It's nice to be a part of this family today, where the simple things are done so sincere. You can lose yourself in the loving that'll swell up around you. And oh, I hold this family here so dear. I'll clue you in. You know, sing it with me if you would. And it's nice to be a part of this family today, with the simple things, where the simple things are done so sincere. You can lose yourself. You can lose yourself in the loving that'll swell up around you. Oh, I hold this family here so dear. That's pretty good. We can do this one more time and be... And it's nice to be a part of this family today. Simple things, where the simple things are done so sincere. We can lose ourselves. We can lose ourselves in the loving that'll swell up around you. Oh, I hold this family here so dear, for years and years. Yeah, this family will surely endure. Boy, Don, if you get comfortable, you can come up anytime. I mean, you know, I paid good money for these capos too. And I've messed with them for the last couple of days. And we have 3 daughters, and they are each totally different than the other one. Their personalities, their characteristics, and they're totally unique individuals. And we're going to sing probably at least 2 songs tonight about daughters. But this is a song about our youngest daughter. She lives in Austin, Texas. She's married, and they have 4 children, 6 and under. And it's a busy place in their house. We call it baby land. We walk in the door and we are totally absorbed. In fact, some of my music buddies down there, they say, well, call us when you come to Austin. There's not a chance. I mean, I'm granddad. They call me Bud. My daughter is a baker. She works for a grocery store, and her husband is a Mills flour. They in Austin, things, it's not a real hopeful thing economically for them there, but they are 2 of the happiest people I know, and they work long hours. They work shift work, so what they do is one works during the day, and one stays home and takes care of the kids, and the other works at night, and they go back and forth. And so how they had 4 kids, I don't know. But this is a song about they are renters, they're not owners. They're a step ahead of a payday loan and clinging to hopes they had when they threw their lives together. They each work 2 jobs, trade off kids, hungry mouths must be fed, and they steal time they do not have to love those children. And that's life on its own terms. It moves so fast, it's all a blur, and they're safe in each other's arms at least until the break of dawn. That's life, that's the life they're living. So they had a dream, a little shop where they could make the rules and be the boss. But the banker, he checked that box that said to come back later. So they applied for every job that would change the road they're traveling on. But they always ask, have you broke the law? Were there consequences? And that's life on its own terms. It moves so fast, it's all a blur, and they're safe in each other's arms at least until the break of dawn. That's life. That's the life they're living. They need a clapboard house painted white with a fenced-in yard. The kids will play outside, and a steady 8 to 5 that covers their expenses. But from where they stand, that's a long way. From where they stand, that's a long way. From where they stand, that's a long way in the distance. That's life on its own terms. It moves so fast, it's all a blur, and they're safe in each other's arms, at least until the break of dawn. That's life. That's the life they're living. That's the life they're living.
Ah, what a gorgeous song.
I'm so proud of that daughter. She's one of the strongest people I know. If I could only change one thing, it'd be they would get rid of that dog. So. The little love song for my wife. Oh, I place the beds, and I live with the regret for every song that I'll never sing. And I'll dream dreams inside dreams. They're still hanging in the breeze, so I hold my breath so they won't blow away. But if I could step back in time and rewind all the choices I have made. Yes, if there were the chance, I'd never hold your hand. Then there's nothing that I would want to change. And if a wish or a roll, I could turn these songs to gold, I'd be the first to toss the dice. And I'd weave dreams inside dreams to turn it all to green. We'd hold our breaths and we would pass along. But if I could step back in time and rewind all the choices I have made. Yes, if there were the chance, I'd never hold your hands. There is nothing that I would want to change. if I could step back in time and rewind all the choices I have made. Yes, if there were the chance, I'd never hold your hand. There's nothing that I would want to change. Nothing that I would want to change. We went to that Western Music Association. I should have done this song. I don't. He had old bones and a hero's eyes and had that look that would draw me inside of his secrets. All the stories that he told of love lost and days grown old, they were sacred truth that I was swore to keep. I'd cross my heart. Ah, you can trust me, we're blood brothers. Ever since that day we pricked our fingers and blood was exchanged. You know, Granddad had a way with me. He could make me a part of his story and be a compadre. Riding fast when at our backs we were headed west. He was more than an old man on a cane with a shaking hand. Yes, he taught me how to live, how to be a friend and be a man. But I remember the day that he died, the phone rang. I fell on my knees and cried. I shook my fist at heaven up above, said, please don't take this man that I love. Yes, but Granddad had left a prayer for me to be strong and grow in his family and be a compadre, riding fast when at our backs are headed west. Yeah, to be a compadre unto the ferry and keep riding west until we meet again.
Just like we didn't rehearse it. You know?
No, we did not rehearse that. And that's not on any records or anything, so Don didn't, he couldn't heard it anywhere. And you haven't heard this one either. This is one of the saddest songs I've ever written. But And I wrote it out of frustration because I'm just so tired of loss. We've lost a lot of friends, and a lot of situations have gone wrong and over the last couple of years. And so, and then we were at the cabin one night, and Nan was going through the junk drawer, you know, where you got all the stuff that you don't know what else to do with. And I don't know why. And I thought, it just hit me all of a sudden, what would I do without her? And so this song came out of that, watching her do that. Well, I reached into an old junk drawer to find a memory of yours, between the buttons, the nickels, and the twine. As hard as I searched, there was nothing there but hurt. There was nothing to mend this heart of mine. Ah, grief, you're a mystery, a wondrous misery, a question never satisfied. You're a thought uncompleted, and I'm standing here defeated, and I'm reaching out for arms I'll never find. My heart trembles every time you cross my mind. So I reached a little deeper in between our secrets, you know, the kind we keep all to ourselves. And I found that they were empty. They've been robbed of all their meanings. So I wrapped them up, I put them on the shelf. Ah, grief, you're a mystery, a wondrous misery, a question never satisfied. You're a thought uncompleted, and I'm standing here defeated, and I'm reaching out for arms I'll never find. My heart trembles every time you cross my mind. I am standing in our room. I am reaching out for you. And as I take you in my arms, you are gone. I'm alone. Ah, grief, you're a mystery, a wondrous misery, a question that's never satisfied. You're a thought uncompleted, and I'm standing here defeated, and I'm reaching out for arms I'll never find. My heart trembles every time you cross my mind. My heart trembles every time you cross my mind.
was mighty sweet, mighty sweet.
Bring it up. One day I was sitting at a desk, and I was trying to write a song, and it was going nowhere at all. And so what I did was I grabbed the dictionary and I stuck my finger in it. You know the trick. You know, you stick your finger in it, then you open it up to see what it was, and it was the word naive. And I thought, that fits. You know, that's kind of just, I mean, if you've hung around me, that's just kind of who I am. So I thought about the last time that I felt totally naive, and then this is where this song comes from. See if you can relate to it. Hear the snap of sheets hanging on the line as a warm breeze sweeps the yard and fills this place with the smell of clean. I hear the beating of my heart as I lay here in fresh cut grass and watch the clouds drift by. You know, life was sweet and it was just for me in the summer of '65. Yeah, I still hear that womp as that ball hit my glove. I was squatting behind home plate, 2 outs, 3 runs on. Oh, the count was full, 3-2, and the air's electrified. Yeah, we can that flame, we won that game in the summer of '65. We were innocent, we were so naive, we did not understand Vietnam or Martin Luther King. And the world was spinning faster, and our days were slipping by, and our questions started mounting in the summer of '65. Yeah. You know, '65 was a year of Watson, the Edmund Pettus Bridge, and we all sang we shall overcome, not knowing what it meant. But it made the old folks nervous and with tears in their eyes. I guess the status quo was DOA in the summer of '65. We played moonlit games of kick the can and sneaking in the dark, fighting off the Viet Cong invading the neighbor's yard. Whoa, the feeling, it's with me in the stillness of the night. We started playing war a whole lot more in the summer of '65. We were innocent, we were so naive, we did not understand Vietnam or Martin Luther King. And the world was spinning faster, and our days were slipping by, and our questions started mounting in the summer of '65. So here I am, I'm an older man, I just turned 65. And if I could, I'd like to leave something good behind. Well, maybe for my grandkids, turn darkness into light. But the best I can do is to give to them a summer like '65. We were innocent, we were so naive, we did not understand Vietnam, Martin Luther King. And the world was spinning faster, and our days were slipping by, and our questions started mounting in the summer of '65. Yeah, the questions started mounting back in the 65.
Oh, that's a great one.
Today is Veterans Day.
It is indeed.
I have one song that kind of relates to that, and the story goes like this. I was at the Kerrville Folk Festival, and I was lucky enough that year to be a finalist for a songwriting contest there. And so we all camped in a certain little place, and I was in a tent. Well, I have to tell you about the night before the tent first. It came the biggest thunderstorm that you could possibly imagine, and there's all these folk hippies out there in the rain and getting in the mud, trying to head for shelter, and it was bedlam. And so I finally, and my wife had come to see me in this contest that I was telling you about, and so the creek rose and she couldn't leave. So she got to spend the night in my little two-man tent on my blow-up air mattress in a single sleeping bag. And every time you moved and you touched the tent, it would drip on you. And we woke up floating on that air mattress. But right before dawn, I opened the flap of the tent, and there it was Memorial Day. And there were two guys and another man's walking slowly behind them, and they had on those vests with medals, all their medals from fighting on, and they were carrying a flag, and they were walking down this road, this dirt road in the mud, in honor of somebody they loved. They weren't there to be seen. I just happened to catch a picture of them, and it moved me that they would do that for somebody they loved. And the same week, in the paper, I read a story of a young man who was embedded with the Iraqi troops at that time in Fallujah, and he was killed and left two young boys behind. So I wrote this song from the point of view of the boys, looking at someday trying to find answers. Rows of crosses march across the meadow to where I stand at the grave of my father. They said colder. We're going to start that verse over because this is an important song. Rows of crosses march across the meadow to where I stand at the grave of my father. They were singing. I'm sorry, I can't get that verse there, and Ann can't find it. We'll do a different sad song.
Sometimes I have to pull out my phone and look, see if I can find lyrics,
Sorry. Let me tell you the story behind this song. I've mentioned it before, but my parents are of course, like most kids, They're the most important people in my life. My mother passed away last December in a wonderful way, and it was great. She was a wonderful mom, and my dad is my best friend. And my mom was in the hospital back several years ago, and I got to go to the chance to kind of watch how my dad took care of my mom, and it was life-changing to watch that. Now maybe we can do it. So this is a song to my mom and dad. Mama's resting on the bed. Body's weak and my daddy's scared. Been touch and go all through the night. So he reaches out, takes her hand and says, God, please, could you understand? 60 years of love is not enough. And he sees her as his bride, young and beautiful, standing by his side. Through all the years they've been through the good, the bad, they're living proof that 60 years of love is not enough. Well, they were teenage kids that broke the rules and got married young in high school when they eloped to Tucumcari, New Mexico. So he worked 2 jobs, they made ends meet. She finished high school with a baby. And 60 years have come and they've gone. So my brother and I step off to the side, and Daddy looks deep into Mama's eyes, and she says, it'll all be good. So he counts his blessings one by one, and he says we have not yet begun. 60 years of love is not enough. And he sees her as his bride, young and beautiful, standing by his side. And he sees her as his bride, young and beautiful, standing by his side. Through all the years they've been through the good, the bad, they're living proof that 60 years of love is not enough. So he counts his blessings one by one, and he says we have not yet begun. 60 years of love. 60 years of love. 60 years of love is not enough.
Oh yeah, that's a beauty.
Sorry, we're back to tuning again. I'm taking this capo back. All right, this is a little two-stepper. Well, I'm not sure if I know where the wind comes from, the falling snow, but I know that look that's in your eyes, telling me to just relax, and in your arm there's no turning back. The questions of today can wait their turn. Yes, live life fully, but not so fast. No need to hurry, just let it last. Disasters strike, wonders shine on Wall Street in the welfare line. Who's to say we get what we deserve? Yeah, the flowers that I've never smelled and the feelings, Lord, I have not felt. The questions that I look to wait their turn. Yes, and live life fully, not so fast. No need to hurry, just let it last. So morning comes, you're next to me. It's chirping birds and that's ecstasy. Treasures that our words, they can't describe. Yeah, the secrets, they're whispers shared and they're wrapped inside of just being here. Thank our lucky stars that we're alive. Yes, and live life fully, not so fast. No need to hurry, just let it last. Yeah, live life fully, not so fast. No, 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 no need to hurry, just let it last. Yeah, take a chance. We'll do one more song and we'll call it a night. I've been a square peg looking for a round hole way too long. I've seen lots of sad faces in places I don't belong. You know, black sky that made in the shade, the cottonwood tree. He's got his thought, I need to find one for me. Black dog in the shade, white dog
dog in the sunshine. Everybody needs a place. It's a place that makes you feel fine. Black dog in the shade, white dog in the sunshine. And that white dog is sleeping, not knowing, doing any harm. Ah, she's fine in the sunshine. She knows right where she belongs. And I got to think, no, I'm not that square peg. Black dog in the shade, white dog in the sunshine. Everybody needs a place. It's a place that makes you feel fine. Black dog in the shade, white dog in the sunshine. You know, in this life, you get but one good chance. So find your spot and get out there and dance. Black dog in the shade, white dog in the sunshine. Everybody needs a place. It's a place that makes you feel fine. Black dog in the shade, white dog in the sunshine. Black dog in the shade, white dog in the sunshine. Black dog in the shade, white dog in the sunshine.
All right.
Thank you very much for being here. Thank the folks online, too. Appreciate it.
Randy Palmer, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for being here. Thanks for letting me pick along with you, brother.
Okay. We can do one more. This song is written about a time when Ann asked me to, or I asked her if we could get married, and she told me that I needed to get a job. So this was making that decision was the hard part, because I was leaving Nashville, I was leaving this dream, and it turned out pretty good. We ended up in Breckenridge, Colorado. It was okay. Doubts start to forming on the backside of my mind. I've been roaming these roads so many years, I'm not sure I can leave them behind. And she says that she loves me, Lord, that she needs me right there at her side. And that's the chance that you take, decisions you make if you hold to the love that you find. You gotta hold daylight will find me, the highway behind me, reaching for that lady's arms. I'll be holding the space in that woman's grace. I'll be feeling so safe and so warm. And I'll give her my heart, all except for the part that is saved for the road left behind. But I'll leave it right there, it's perfectly clear. You have to hold to the love that you find. You
gotta hold on. Yes, and don't you ever let go. You gotta hold on. Hold to the line that you know. You gotta hold on. Hold to the line that you know. You gotta hold on. Either hold, you gotta let go. You gotta hold on. Hold to the line that you know. You gotta hold on. Either hold, you gotta let go. Gotta let go.
Amen. Beautiful, man.
Thank you.
Randy Palmer. Thanks for coming to see us here, man.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here at Society Hall. Tell your friends and neighbors. It's a great place to spend an evening and hear some great music. Next thing coming up is December 4th, Sunday afternoon. It's going to be a CD release, kind of a Christmas thing. We'll put out some more information about it, but it's my friend David Clemmer and I, Richmond and Clemmer, we called it, little Christmas CD, and we're going to do a set of music from that, and then we're going to do a set of sing-along stuff. So it'll be fun. Hope to see you there or on down the way. Thanks again to Randy.
Thank you. Oh, I hate that when I go blank like that.